I rarely wear these glasses, so whenever I take them out of their box, they are actually covered in dust and fingerprints, and I'm not able to see anything. Hi everyone, welcome back to Linda Libra Luca. I'm wearing my nerd glasses, or sexy secretary as my husband likes to call them, which means that I'm back to film another skincare knowledge video. And the topic this time, because I get quite a lot of questions about it and I suffer from it myself, is hyperpigmentation. In this video, I'm going to cover what is hyperpigmentation, what can I do to prevent it, and if I couldn't prevent it, what can I do to cure it, if there is a way, if there is a cure. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Most of us have seen hyperpigmentation. It is something that you see a lot more the older you get, and yeah, it can manifest as age spots, it can manifest as scarring, dark scarring after pimples or acne, it can manifest as freckles anywhere on your body. To understand hyperpigmentation, you have to understand how your skin's defense mechanisms against UV rays or against anything work. Your skin has so-called melanocytes. These are cells that produce melanin, and this melanin is like an umbrella. It reflects UV rays, protecting the DNA that is in your cell. When your skin is exposed to UV rays, it activates its protection system. Melanin is built, the melanocytes try to proliferate, they get more and more, and they distribute among the areas where your sun was exposed to UV damage. So actually, whenever you tan, this is already sun damage. Usually this melanin is distributed evenly. It can be distributed unevenly, a little patchy genetically from the beginning. And some people are more prone to uneven melanin distribution than others are. But basically, it's more lifestyle than anything else. Sun damage shows a few years, up to 10 years after the actual sun damage took place. So the freckles or the sun damage that you're going to see when you are adolescents or early adulthood is sun damage you received when you were a kid. Hyperpigmentation is part of the skin's reaction to inflammation. Because when there's inflammation in the skin, because there's a pimple, because of UV rays, because of you cutting yourself or hurting yourself, that means that the blood flow is increased. There are different messengers that your skin releases to get cells of the immune system and all that in place, and that includes melanocytes. So if there's inflammation anywhere, if you, like me, have a big zit underneath your skin or your body is going to tell the melanocytes, go up there, produce melanin, drop it there. Why is not completely sure. Melanin has some antioxidant effects, so that's probably why, but yeah, our bodies are still a mystery despite all the research that has been done. But what it leaves me is when my pimple is healed with a deposit of melanin, a darker spot in my skin. This is the reason for hyperpigmentation after, for example, acne. Now, freckles aren't where you had acne. If the melanocytes are continuously told to go out there and protect from UV damage, they no longer distribute evenly. As we age, our bodies get more, I don't want to say faulty, but there are several hiccups that we experience, and one of these hiccups is melanocytes accumulating in certain areas where you're constantly exposed to sun, which is why you get age spots as we age. Because when the melanocytes gather, they gather there always, and whenever you're exposed to sun, you're going to produce melanin at that page and get a dark brownish spot. Long story short, hyperpigmentation is the skin's reaction to inflammation. It can either be locally and reversible, like hyperpigmentation after a spot, or it can be genetically, or more likely due to continuous sun exposure and sun damage, and not reversible per se, which is then age spots or other kinds of hyperpigmentation. And if you're lucky like I am and have aging and acne-prone skin, you have both. Now we have learned that hyperpigmentation is a reaction of the skin to inflammation. So avoiding inflammation is the way to go. That means, on one hand, avoiding sun exposure, avoiding sunburn, even the early stages that you don't really see, because that triggers an inflammatory response in your skin, SPF. On the other hand, it means if you suffer from pimples, not picking, because that leads another form of damage. I know, I pick mine as well. And using soothing and anti-inflammatory topical things, which is, for example, bisabolol, which are omega-3 fatty acids, which are gamma-linoleic acids, which are antioxidant and anti-inflammatory things like niacinamide or green tea, and use that in your skincare to really soothe your skin. And I believe that no matter what you put on your face, if your nutrition is off, then it won't work as good as it could be, no matter how expensive the creams. So make sure you have these omega-3 acids in your diet, you get your antioxidants, and omega-3 is what you get from hemp seed oil, flaxseed oil, these oils, and niacinamide is what you get from meat, red meat, from poultry, but also from leafy greens. So a balanced, healthy diet is great. Oh, and sugar is inflammatory, so avoid sugar. That will help with aging and hyperpigmentation as well in the long run. But again, practice what you preach. I don't think so. If you, like me, do already suffer from hyperpigmentation, I have hyperpigmentation up on my cheekbones, which are from sun exposure, and I get hyperpigmentation from my spots. The question is, what can I do to cure it? And well, you can cure the hyperpigmentation that you got from a pimple. I'm sorry to tell you that there is no real way to permanently get rid of the hyperpigmentation you have as sun damage, as age spots. The only thing you can do is fade them and prevent them raising their head through applying a lot of SPF. Because the one thing is melanin that is deposited at a spot from inflammation. You just have to see that you cure the inflammation with bisabolol, niacinamide, and all that, and that you have to speed up cell turnover, which is through exfoliants. I prefer chemical ones like AHAs, and which is through retinoic acid with increased cell turnover. Of course, physical exfoliation will work as well, because the layer of skin that has the hyperpigmentation will go faster, will go quicker, and the skin that's growing back underneath won't have it. If you have age spots, that won't help, because the melanocytes are there, and whenever you go out in the sun, there will be an area where you produce more melanin, despite the inflammatory reaction being the same overall your face. Things like niacinamides work with combating hyperpigmentation because it's general brightening and it's anti-inflammatory, and it helps the melanin fade more easily. The same goes for vitamin C, which improves collagen production but also helps evening out the skin tone. And there is evidence that when you use retinols or vitamin A, that the hyperpigmentation, the uneven distribution can get a little better. But believe me, even if you have a clinical treatment, you won't be able to get rid of this hyperpigmentation forever. So fading the spots you have and then being diligent when applying sunscreen is the way to go, so your face looks more even. Or otherwise, slather on a full coverage foundation and you're good to go as well. So in conclusion, hyperpigmentation is the result of your skin being inflamed due to either sun or due to pimples, inflammation, or any kind of injury to the skin. To prevent it, you have to be very careful with applying SPF whenever you go outside, not just when you're tanning. And of course, you have to try to calm down inflammations and not pick your spots. To cure hyperpigmentation that's already there, make sure to keep cell turnover high, like exfoliate regularly, use a vitamin A product, use vitamin C and niacinamide because they are brightening and help fade these spots quicker as well. Apply sunscreen to prevent, because especially with age spots, there's no way of getting rid of them completely. I'm not going to talk about hydroquinone and things like that because they are banned in the European Union where I live, because due to side effects that they have on the human body. I know that they are really popular in Asian countries, and yeah, if you have great experiences with them, go for it. I just don't feel comfortable recommending them because I personally would not use them. And that concludes another installment in the Skincare Knowledge series. I'm going to link the playlist so you can check out the other videos I already made on this topic. And yeah, if you have any recommendations, leave them in the comments below. I'll make sure to get back to you, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'm going to see you all very soon with another video. Bye!